Hello and welcome to this webinar on your pathway to home ownership. I am Stepida, the Senior Business and Housing Program Associate here at San Pablo Economic Development Corporation. So before we get started, here are a few housekeeping items. This webinar is being recorded and the recording will be available on our website. Any resources mentioned during the presentation will also be available on our website. All attendees are muted, and if you have any issues with the audio, you may need to click on the webinar screen to enable audio. And we welcome questions. Please use the Q&A box located at the bottom of your screen to submit questions, and we will answer them at the end of the presentation. The mission of San Pablo Economic Development Corporation is to act as the catalyst for equitable economic opportunity. We offer workshops, training, and classes for businesses, entrepreneurs, and individuals. To support advancement, we focus on employment, training, and support, business resources and access to capital, and home ownership, which we are going to discuss on this webinar. And this webinar was possible with the help of our wonderful partner, May from Guild Mortgage. We are grateful for her partnership and collaboration with us. Now I turn it over to May.
Hi, everyone. My name is May from Guild Mortgage. I am a mortgage loan officer, and I've been doing it for over 10 years. So for today, we will discuss the home buying process. A lot of people, sometimes when they're trying to purchase a house, they're looking on Zillow, Redfin, looking for a house, and they think they could just go there, look at the house without getting a pre-approval. So this webinar is going to help you a lot if you're planning to buy a house sooner or in the future. Go ahead and next slide, please. So what are the benefits of owning a home? So the equity, right? So with the equity, when you buy a house, you're building equity on the property compared when you're renting. And that equity, you can tap on it. So let's say you put 3% down, five years, then you already earn equity. You can tap on that equity for home renovation, for debt consolidation, or for anything else. So when you're renting, you're throwing that money. But when you own a house, you're building equity. You can tap on it and then borrow some money from it. Your lower payment. So when you rent, the tendency of increasing the rent is always there every year. But when you're buying a house, yes, maybe for the first year, it is a shock, right? That you have a higher payment. But, 5 years, 10 years, you will see that payment is going to go down because you know why? If you start with a 7% rate, maybe 3 years the interest rate drop, then you can refinance it and then put you on a lower rate. So that way, your payment is going to be lower, and then the taxes as well, of course. Like what I mentioned earlier, it's appreciating value. When you're renting, you're throwing money away. But when you have a house, you're building equity. So your house, you buy 500,000 from now, maybe 3 years, 5 years later, then maybe that 500 is going to be 580 to $600,000. Tax benefit, you can write off the interest that you're paying. And then the level of payments, you have a fixed payment when you own a house. But then when you rent, it keeps going up. So those are the benefits of owning a home. Next slide, please. So this is the home buying process. It's pretty simple. I made it simple for you so you can understand. So the pre-approval process, the first thing that you have to do, remember when earlier I mentioned that's like some people, they tend to look on Zillow or Redfin looking for a house, and then they want to see, maybe they're looking for 700,000 house, but maybe once they submit the application, they're only qualified for 500,000. So you want to make sure when you're looking for a house, you already have the pre-approval. So that way, you know what your range when you're looking on those application. So the first thing you have to do is complete that application. And next, get a pre-qualified for a ballpark for the loan amount, how much you're qualified for. And the next one you have to do is make sure you submit the financial documentations. I will explain later what are the documents needed to submit if you're self-employed or if you are W-2 employee. So once you submit your documentation, the lender will review they will review your application, your documents, and also your credit report. And from there, they should be able to find out or approve you how much you can get approved for a home loan. Once you have that pre-approval, now you can hire a real estate. If you don't have a real estate, don't worry. If you apply, we have a realtor partners that can help you. We can refer you to good realtors. So once you hire a real estate, the realtor is gonna help you to find the house. So you don't even have to look on your Redfin or Zillow. You can still do that, but then your realtor, mostly they're gonna send you like, hey, because they know they will do a consultation with you, right? Once you hire real estate, they will ask how many bedrooms are we looking? What is the range that we are looking? Do you want backyard? No HOA? So those are the things that they're gonna ask. Once you tell them what you need, what's gonna happen is they will look in their NMLS, and then they will send you the list of the properties. And then if you like some of the properties, go ahead and tell them like, hey, I want to see this, I want to see this one, I want to see this one. Then the realtor's job is call that listing agent so that way you can view the property. Now, if let's say they show 5 houses, you like one of them, right? So and now you guys are gonna put an offer. When you put and then once you put an offer, you have 3 days to sign the disclosures. And then after they accepted your offer, we will run the disclosures, and after that you will do the inspections. So we will order the appraisal, and then we will issue a final approval. Once we reissue the final approval, then you can get your key. So usually the process can take, I would say, once you submit. So once you're in contract, usually you can close your loan within between 15 to 20 days. So it's quick. So the only hard part I would say is the getting pre-approval. But if you are, if you're helping your loan officer submitting all those documents, it can be easy process. So maybe within 5 weeks we can issue the pre-approval. And when I said not 5 weeks, 5 days or 3 to 5 days. So once you submit those documents, we can issue the pre-approval. Then you can start looking for a house. Next one, please. So these are I don't know if you can see on your screen, but these are the loans that we offer for the buyers. So we have a conventional loan, we have the government loan. The government loan is under VA, USDA, and FHA loan. So usually, if you're a first-time home buyer, it's either they put you on a conventional or an FHA loan. If you look at it, a lot of people, they said like, oh, I want to get a conventional loan because they said they're easy, they're good loans, they're not gonna have a PMI, but I don't have 20% down payment. It's a misconception because you don't need 20% down to get a conventional loan. If you look at it, you can go as low as 3%. FHA loan, you have to do 3.5%. But if your credit is, do you see this one where it says 540? So the FHA loan, a lot of people they says like, oh, I don't have a good credit. My credit is 600. I don't think I can get a house. I have income, but my credit is really bad. I only have like less than 600. But look at this one. You can go 540 on we can go as low as 540, but you need to have a 10%. Now, if your credit is 580, then you can do the 3.5% down. And also there are down payment assistance that you can apply, even your credit's like 600. So make sure, if you're talking to your loan officer, ask them what kind of loans am I qualify, and then also what are the down payment assistance that I can use. So I can, when I put an offer in the house, I don't have much. This is the only one that I have, but what can you do? How can you help me? Your loan officer will be able to navigate on that one. So a jumbo loan is the jumbo loan. These are if you look at it, anything over I think it's 846,500. Hold on a second. So right now, if your loan amount is over 806,500, then it will be considered a jumbo loan. This one is a little bit difficult because they require, look at their credit score, 660, I would say, but then you need a reserve. A reserve, you need to make sure that you have 6 months reserve to cover your monthly payment in case something happened to you. So there are other products where you can like a 3-2-1 buy downs, the bridge loan. So there are a lot of product. But if you're a first time home buyer, I would say just focus on the conventional and then the government loan, which is the VA and FHA. Go ahead and next slide, please. Okay, so what are the do's and don'ts of buying a house? So on the do's part, make sure your employment, asset, and personal information is correct on your application. When you're submitting an application, make sure you're not omitting something. So if you have a second job and you've been there for 2 years or longer, make sure that you are, that make sure you don't, when you submit an application, don't quit your job, pretty much. Do not quit, don't make any changes, because remember, when you submit an application, we are approving you for what you put in application. So what happened sometimes with other application is they submit an application and then 3 days or right before we closing, their car broke down, then they end up like buying a car. So what is that gonna do with their pre-approval? Change, right? Because remember, if your debt to income ratio, or DTI that they call, is 45, now you have a 600 monthly payment. So what's gonna happen? We approve you at 45 or 50%, and now you have a 55%. You're in contract. So what's gonna happen? Once we saw that you have, because we will run a soft pull after the application. So what's gonna happen? We will see that one. Now you're not qualified anymore. So the house, you're almost there. You did the appraisal. You already signed. Next thing you know, you're losing the house because of this. So make sure, don't do any more changes when you do that, when you're submitting an application. So where it says there, continue to make all your payments on time, so that way your credit doesn't change. Because if you have a late payment, then it will change, right? Respond to any request from your loan officer. If your loan officer asks, hey, I need your 2 latest pay stubs. Hey, I need your W-2. I need your tax return. I need your bank statement. Make sure you respond to them in a timely manner, because once you're in contract, they give you usually 30 days to close the loan. So let's say I asked for bank statement. You send it to me after a week, or you didn't respond to me. I'm losing that 1 week already, and I can't get your bank statement. You're the only one who can access that. Even we can't request that from the bank. So make sure, when you're applying, if you're serious at getting pre-approval, make sure you communicate very well with your loan officer, so that way you can have easy process. The don't. Earlier, I said don't apply for a car loan. Same thing with credit cards. Any financing, don't co-sign for anyone, because that's not the time to do that, because you are in contract. You don't want to change anything on your income, on your debt to income ratio, on your liabilities. So make sure, if a family member said, hey, I need new car, I need your help. It's like, just tell them, no, I'm getting a house, and it's okay. They would understand. Don't have any inquiries made on your credit report. So what does that mean? If you apply, so make sure, don't be applying even though you're not getting the credit card. Don't be running your credit. Don't submit an application that you're not going to proceed. We don't want that. You don't want to touch your credit. You don't want to submit anything while you are in the process. Don't make changes on your name, address, job, or income. Let me tell you, I was doing a loan for someone, and we run the credit report, and then when we ask for the ID, she submit the application, and when we ask for the documents, it's totally a different name. So what happened? It's crazy, because we have to transfer the credit report. We have to make sure the person that's on the application is the same thing with with the documents that they send me. So it can take a time when you do that, because your credit report, you need to transfer to the new name. So make sure, don't do anything of that when you are in contract, or when you are in the process of getting a loan. The next one is, don't spend your closing costs. Okay, so your funds that you set aside for down payment, for closing costs, make sure you don't spend them. Don't spend them on anything, because what happened is, when you find a house, there's going to be a taxes, insurance, they call it escrow, that we have to set aside. So it's not just your down payment, it's not just the closing cost. There are taxes and insurance involved. So make sure you have enough money. If, let's say, you submit me a bank statement, this is how much I verify. I verify $10,000, which is enough. Next thing you know, we found a house, we are closing, and then I'm looking at your bank statement. It's like it's only 5,000 because you spend it. I can't close a loan because now I'm missing 5,000, because what I verify when I issue the pre-approval letter is a 10,000, not 5,000. And next, the 4 levels of approval, right? So this is easy, a pre-qualification. So a lot of lenders, if you don't talk to your loan officer, so what happened is it's easy to get to submit an application, right? You just put mortgage loan applications. There's a lot of lender, right? So you fill in your application, you didn't submit the documents, they call it pre-qualification. So that means they only run your credit, they're approving you based on a stated income. You tell them that your income is 5,000, but when they verify it's only 3,000, maybe you put extra 2,000 that you're receiving cash, but you don't report that to taxes. So they're approving you based on pre-qualification. Is that a good approval? I would say no, because like what I said, if you input 5,000 on your income, but then when we verified, I only verified 3,000, that can affect your debt to income ratio. The pre-approval, this is the actual documentation sent to processing. So you send me your pay stubs, you send me your W-2. Now I send it to the processing, and then from there they issue pre-approval. Now the underwriting credit approval, this is good, and then the credit approval protection. So these two, they go hand in hand. So you submit an application, I verify your credit report, I verify your assets, I verify your income. Now I send it to the underwriter. So what is that gonna do? Once I receive all that, I receive an approval from my underwriter. That is a true pre-approval. So that means your file is ready. We're just waiting for you to find a house based on the amount that we pre-approve you. Once we pre-approve you, once we get that credit approval from the underwriting, it's easier. What's gonna happen is you find a house, and then they said, it's like, hey, they will call your lender. Usually my client, I always tell the realtors, like, hey, if you're putting an offer, tell them to call me, so that way I can help you when you're putting an offer. Then I talk to the listing agent. I tell them, I was like, hey, this borrower is good. I verify income, I verify credit, I verify bank statement, I verified everything, fully verified, it's credit approved. So what's gonna happen is they will like that compared to pre-qualification, right? Because now you have credit approval, underwriting approval compared to pre-qualification. Pre-qualification for me is like, it's different. I wouldn't submit an offer with just pre-qualification. I want to make sure, and I always tell this to my realtors, like, do not help people if they only have pre-qualification, because first you're wasting, they're probably wasting your time, because what if they find a house at 700, but then once we verify the income, it's only 500. So don't show them. So make sure you have a credit approval or underwriting approval. It's easier process. So these are the documents that you need, right? So remember when I earlier I said, okay, so what documents do you need, right? For when you're applying for a loan. Do you need a tax return? When do you need a tax return? So the only reason when you need a tax return, if you're self-employed. If you are W-2 employee, I don't need a tax return. Don't send me those tax return unless you have rental income in there, then I might need them, right? But if I'm only qualifying you based on your pay stubs, based on your W-2, then just send me that, because you're not self-employed. We only need the tax return, 2 years tax return if you are self-employed. But if you are W-2 employee, all I need is 2 years W-2s, two latest pay stubs, and then just the bank statement. That's it. Pretty easy. Do you have questions on do you have any questions on the documents? So that way I can elaborate, I can explain. No? Okay. Next slide, please. So, okay, so the next one is acceptable sources of funds to close, right? So let me explain this to you. So when you put an offer, when the listing agent that said when the listing agent accept your offer, they will give you 3 days to send an earnest money deposit. What is an earnest money deposit? So that means you're giving them a check. They will put that check into the escrow. It is a security that you're not going to back out on this deal unless the appraisal didn't appraise for what it is, or there's a lot when you did the inspection, there's a lot going on in the house, right? Then you can back out. But you can't back out unless, unless, or maybe you can back out, but it depends on the reason. But that earnest money deposit, you have to give that within 3 days, and they will put that money into the escrow account. You can do your checking, savings, or market investment. Those are acceptable funds to close. The deposit, you can use that one. You can also use your business account if you have as a source of funds to close. Also, if you have a family who wants to gift you, you can do that as well if you're buying a house. Also, proceeds from real estate. So let's say you have a house, you're buying another property, but you are selling this property, so you want to use that 200,000. Let's say that you have equity to put down, you can use that as well. Also 401k. A lot of people, they don't know this, but you can use your 401k as long as the 401k, as long as your company allows you to withdraw money. And I don't think the tax is a lot when you withdraw money from your 401k, because usually what they do is they will ask you to take a loan first, and after that it would be a hardship withdrawal. And I think when you loan from your 401k, they let you pay for 20 to 25 years. So your payment is not a lot. So imagine if you borrow like maybe $30,000. So your payment is probably like what, $50 $50 every paycheck. It's not a lot, right? Compared to buy it borrow it for 6 years. So yeah, those are the acceptable source of funds to close. We discussed this already, the nine tips for smooth loan closing. So don't change your job, don't apply for any credit cards, don't buy a car, don't let your credit card payments are full behind, don't spend the money that you have saved for the down payment with or closing costs. Don't let anyone else check your credit score. So the credit inquiry, make sure you don't do that. Don't make any large deposits others than your paycheck. So let me discuss that. Don't let any large deposit others than your paycheck. Okay. So we will request your bank statement, right? So if you have, let's say $3,000, $5,000, you deposited cash because you know that you're buying a house. You have $5,000 sitting at your house. I was like, oh my God, I need this because I know I'm gonna need this one. So let me just, I'm in contract. I just want to make sure that I have enough money. So let me just put this $5,000 cash in my account. So when you have that, when we verify the income, we're gonna question, it's like, hey, where did you get this $5,000? So it's a little bit, can be a problem with the underwriter because it's like, oh, what are these large deposits? What's going on here? They're not your paycheck. What's going on here? So you need to create an explanation. You need to write a letter of explanation. So make sure, you try to avoid that because I know you're buying a house. Now, if you're planning to buy a house, and you have money sitting in your account or in your house, deposit them now. Wait 2 months until it's verified, because wait 2 months, and then once 2 months is passed, you can go ahead and submit an application. Then it's not gonna show, it's there already. So from beginning balance to end balance, so it's seasoned for 2 months already. So you can do that. Don't change your bank account. Don't change your bank account. So what does that mean? Let me tell you, I have a client. He has online banking only, so he doesn't have a local bank. So when we were doing the transaction, I sourced the bank account that he provided me, which is the online banking only. And then in the middle of the transaction, what he did, he took money from the online banking, go to Walmart, and he got a money order, and after that he deposited them to the local bank. It was a lot. It was a mess. Good thing he's good at sourcing it, because if not, how am I gonna know that? You have to go. Good thing he took a copy of the money order that he got from Walmart, and then I was able to log on to his account from the online banking. So I want to make sure that, hey, He took 3,000 here, got a money order, and then deposited into the bank. So three banks that I have to source. So it was a mess, but we made it work. We funded the loan. Don't co-sign for anyone. We discussed that because you don't want any other liabilities added to you because your debt to income ratio is gonna affect. Don't increase balance on any credit cards. Do not, because it would be inquiry, right? When you increase your balance on the credit card, so they might run a softball on you, so that would be considered inquiry. So avoid doing this while you are in contract, so that way your underwriter, your process or loan officers, doesn't request any more documents to you. And we can sort it, I know, but for your sake, it's gonna be a trouble for you because then you're gonna have to search, you're gonna have to give all this information that we didn't have before. Because remember, I issue or we issue a credit approval already. It should be an easy close. But if you keep doing this, you end up doing this, then we're gonna need more documentations for you. Next one. Oh, that's it. Any questions? You can they unmute Sepida just in case I have questions.
Yes, you can just unmute and then ask if you have any questions.
Do you have any questions on the down payment? We offer down payment assistance. So if you guys are interested in that one, take a picture of my information, give me a call. Should be able to, and or if you want, one-on-one consultation with me, we can do it on the phone. We can do it after this meeting, or just give me a call, schedule an appointment, and then I can help you. I can guide you with it. Anything else? Any questions on the credit? Yeah, Kimberly, go ahead.
Hi, I'm wondering
Hi.
regarding the employment history,
Yeah,
if you change jobs but stay in the same industry, like, does that still impact how you're
no, you're good.
qualified? How you qualify?
Um, no, so the only way that it will impact if you are in contract, because remember, when you are in contract, you only have 30 days to close the loan, right? Usually, that's what they need. So you only have once they accept your offer, hey, I want to close this loan within 21 to 30 days. So you don't want to change in the middle. But if you're asking, it's like, hey, last year I was working same type of employment, but then this year, I changed, right? So your 2 years is different, right? But same area, you're fine as long as your income is good. So we can source that. That's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's a good question because a lot of people they say like, oh no, I have to wait. Now I have to wait, right? Usually that's what they do, right? I have to wait because I just switched my jobs. Like, no, you don't have to wait. Sometimes it's nice if your income is more. It's good that you change, right? But yeah, you should be okay. Anything else?
Any other question?
Do you guys have questions on the process? Like what's the first thing that you guys have to do if you're looking to buy a house? Or how much do I need to save? How much do I need? Because we didn't discuss the down payment. Oh, we kind of did, but then the closing costs as well. So do you have any questions or clarification on that?
Yeah, if you can explain
Yeah.
the process, like the beginning process, like what.
Yeah. Okay, so the beginning process, right? So you submit an application. So we can send a link to you, submit an application. So it depends. Do you need a down payment assistance? So those are the things. There's a lot, not just submitting an application. If you have the money to buy a house, you have the money for the down payment and then the closing costs. It's just an easy process. Send you the link for the application, submit, fill out the application, then send me if you're employed, not double, if you're W-2 and not tax return person, then all we need, just download the bank statement, the two latest pay stubs, and then just the two W-2s. Once we have that, I can review your application right away and then send it to the underwriter. So maybe within 3 days we get it back, and and then we'll let you know how much we can pre-approve you. So it's not bad. It's easy process. Did I answer your question, Kimberly?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. And the application process the application is easy. You can fill out on your phone. It's not bad. And if you need referral, once you have the pre-approval, if you need referrals, like I don't know any realtor that I can trust, right? So, you let me know and then I can refer you. So that's not a problem. I have a realtor all over the area. So that's easy. Uh, Anything else?
Wait, I do have one more question.
Yeah.
Do you offer financing for commercial spaces or live workspaces?
Is that like a consumer?
Yeah, you
What?
know how the buildings that have like the apartments on top or a living space adjacent to the commercial space?
I have a broker for that. So if you're I have so sometimes they have that, but it's a different loan, so that's not a regular FHA, VA, or conventional. So it depends on the zoning from the city. It might be considered like a what do you call it, it's different. They have a different zoning, so it depends, but I have people for that too. So my company has we do a lot of different types of loan, even for investors we have a lot. Are you investors, Kimberly?
Am I an investor?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay. Is that your plan?
I'm yeah, that's something that I'm interested in and researching.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No, yeah. It's good. Yeah, we have financing for those.
okay, thank you. That was all of my questions. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's good. And if you have questions, you got my number too. Just give me a call. I'm here. Um, Anything else? We finished early. So I don't have, because the application process is simple, and I can discuss that within 30 minutes. And then I want to open the floor for my barbers, because sometimes they have additional questions like, okay, I didn't get this one, I didn't understand this one. But it's a simple process, right? What do you guys think? So I think that's it. Any more questions? Happy day. I think we're good.
Okay, so if there is no other question, just thank you for attending our webinar. And once again, thank you to our partner, May. And we hope this webinar provided you with valuable information. This recording will be available on our website, as well as some of the resources and information presented today. And please feel free to contact our presenter, May, with any questions that you may have, as you can find the contact information on the screen.
Bye. If you don't have any
Bye.
more
Thank
questions,
you.
just give me a call. Just give me a call.
I will. Thank you.
Yeah, if you need consultation, you
Thank
get it.
you.
Thank you, Sabida. Have a good
Thank you,
night.
May. Thank you, you too.
Bye.
Goodbye.